Welcome, apartment investors. You're listening to REEP Equity's podcast show, Passive Wealth Through Multifamily Investing. REEP Equity owns and manages 1,800 units and brings a unique behind-the-scenes look at apartment investing. During this program, you will hear from REEP principals and real-life successful multifamily professionals who will provide proven advice on why apartment investing is the best investment vehicle to produce passive monthly income.
Hello, apartment investors. Thank you for joining us for REEP Equity's first podcast. I'm Jacob Garza, and with me, my two partners, Chris Martinez and Arlene Garza.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
One of the reasons we decided to start this podcast is we've been doing this full-time for 2.5 years. We started full-time, and we continue to do so. So we thought, what a better way than to chronicle these events into a podcast, and we can share it with the multifamily community, as well as bring on real experts.
We're very excited to share our firsthand experiences, not only as owners, but as managers or operators of our own properties. We think there's a lot we have to share with you and are excited to do that.
Yeah, so some of the stuff that we're going to be sharing with our audience are benefits of passive investing, tax benefits to multifamily investing, cost segregation, bonus depreciation, the new Jobs Act, acquisition and dispositions. Property management, too, because that's a big one.
So as you can see from that list, we're really going to bring some really fantastic content for both the sophisticated investor as well as the passive investor, just so you can better understand all the nuances of investment in multifamily and what works and what doesn't work. But before we get into our content, a little bit more about what we're going to be doing, why don't we share a little bit about some of our backgrounds? So, Arlene?
Sure, Jacob, thank you. I have a degree in finance, and that led me into the banking industry, where I spent 20 years in executive roles in various pieces of the banking world, including lending, managing banking centers, and leading national teams both in marketing and human resources. And what I found is that all of that background and experience I've been able to bring into the multifamily world and use it on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you, Arlene. So for me, I started my first company at the age of 26, followed by 3 more. I sold my last one in 2007, and it was a property management software company out of Dallas. The product was called Tenant Pro. We had about 20,000 users across the United States, and it was a fully integrated accounting system. So it had a balance sheet, had the general ledger, had all the financial statements, and it also handled the tenant side, which is the tenant ledgers and the rent roll, and also a maintenance working tracking order component. So with that product, I really felt like, for today anyway, it really set me up for what I'm doing today. But having said all that, I sold it in 2007, and I had about 100 employees when I had sold it. Chris?
Yeah, so my path is a bit of a hybrid between Jacob and Arlene's, where early in my career, I started a mortgage banking firm in Las Vegas, Nevada, was pretty successful for a number of years, grew it to about 25 employees. Shortly thereafter, went back to school, obtained a couple accounting degrees, passed and obtained the CPA license from the state of California, and went to work immediately in the real estate practice for Ernst & Young, one of the big 4 public accounting firms. Some of the things that I learned there, still within the real estate practice, was more larger REITs and larger commercial centers, just basically in the audit practice.
So you have 3 people with really 3 diverse backgrounds. One from corporate America, the other one really from bootstrap starting companies, and another one that has a blend of both. And that was what attracted us together in 2015. And we were met at a real estate convention. And Arlene, you want to tell us, fill in the blanks on how we met?
She tells the story good.
Well, and I'm a big believer in fate, and this was really fate. We were standing there at the conference, and we were on break, and Jacob had moved to the side to speak to another couple who had some questions, and Chris and his wife Veronica approached me, and we just started a very casual, comfortable conversation about what Jacob and I had been doing in the real estate world as far as multifamily, and then Chris shared their goals in terms of entering the multifamily space. And so it was great. We just had a good conversation, exchanged business cards, and didn't really know what was going to happen from there, but casually committed to getting together back in San Antonio when we returned.
So we had our first meeting, and it wasn't long before we realized that each one of us brought something very special to our partnership. And as a result, we've just done extremely well. Chris, you want to take off of what we've acquired since then?
So since 2015, we've acquired 216 units in San Antonio, 212 units in San Antonio, 344 units, 256 units, 127 units, 273 units, and 264 units, total of about 1,800 units here in San Antonio.
So our growth has really been very measured. Although it seems pretty fast, we have grown really in a very measured way. As I said, we wanted to make sure we could manage our growth. And then about a year and a half ago, we launched our own management company. Early on, Jacob and I self-managed some of our smaller properties, but after we tried third party, we decided that we wanted to get a better handle on the operations side of our business. And so with launching the management company, we now have over 80 employees, 10 in the corporate office and the others on site. And we truly have been able to react very quickly to the changing demands at our properties.
So as a result of us forming our partnership, we really have a company that has many different disciplines. In addition to launching our management company, we also are vertically integrated, which basically means we have the buy side, which is our REEP Equity. We have our management side, which is our operations. We also have a fully integrated accounting department. We have our rehab department, a flooring department. We do all of our own flooring, a construction side, as well as cost segregation. So all of these disciplines within a group, within our company, we've become vertically integrated. And I think that what's important to know is REEP owns the entire life cycle of a property, which starts with buying it all the way to dispositions. So everything in between there, us three, we're overseeing all of these different levers. And I think that's really been an advantage to us for some of the success we've had on some of our returns.
As the three different principals, we each bring different business backgrounds, as Jacob says, and unique skills. And this has allowed us to divide and conquer. And with each of us having somewhat defined roles, we don't overlap a lot. And we're able to really move deals forward pretty quickly. And then once the acquisition happens, we're able to take over the properties and day one start generating new leases and income for the properties. So again, this is really a great thing because for us, like in Jacob's case, he does the asset management, Chris handles the financial end of it, and I handle the operations. So we think it's a unique formula. And you've got three of us that are sitting here watching the operations and the properties, all with the goal of adding value for our investors.
So in addition to adding value to investors, we thought this would be a fantastic way to share all these insights with a greater community and those that are interested in entering the space or investing in multifamily. Our next podcast, we're really excited to share that Eric Koa with the Wells Fargo Multifamily Capital Division from Dallas, Texas, joined us here in the REEP Equity Studios. In that podcast segment, we're going to discuss some of their products that they have at Wells Fargo, the state of the market, where he sees it going, and just some good nuggets to learn from at any level.
That's a great example, Chris, of the type of information we want to share through our podcast. You're going to be sharing information from the lending side of it, but we've got other various topics that we will speak about that will help other folks really understand what multifamily is all about. So whether you are already active in real estate investing or are considering adding it to your portfolio, we hope that these podcasts help shed some light into the world of multifamily investing. And we also ask if you want to stay in touch with what we're doing, like us on Facebook at REEP Equity TX or on LinkedIn and Instagram at REEP Equity. Thank you for joining us and look forward to sharing more podcasts with you as we move forward in the future.